Tonight we're going to talk about anima integration for men. And what is the anima? The anima is the feminine part in a man, his soul, in a sense, that instead of turning within and integrating with it, he's always searching for on the outside. And in the same sense, in a woman, there's the masculine element, the animals that she's searching on the outside in men. Basically, the equivalent of Eros and Logos. When a man has not integrated his anima, what he tends to do is to project it on women. And instead of seeing them as whole human beings with unique personalities, he is actually grasping and clinging to the qualities that they embody that he has not integrated within himself, the feminine qualities. Uh, and he's basically energetically using women in a sense because he only sees that and wants to use it from the woman instead of integrating it within. And vice versa, women could do the same thing with masculine qualities they have not owned and internalized within themselves. And that's how codependent relationships are born, in a sense. But now we are called to evolve. And if one has worked with shadow projection, which are the disowned qualities of the psyche, which we do not want to accept about ourselves, so we project them on others, and they could be good or bad. Uh, then the follows the anima and the animus integration, the feminine gender. So for men, here's my cat. Who's a boy who's missing me. Talk about anima and animus integration. It's okay, Francie, buddy. Shh. Okay. So to integrate the feminine qualities, one must pay attention to what are they and what attracts a person to a particular woman. And then work on integrating that quality, whether it's sensuality, whether it's uh, embodiment, just kind of the radiance and the feeling oneself, like actually feeling, right? Which in a lot of men that has been suppressed. Uh, and the anima is usually suppressed with cultural conditioning, familial conditioning, religious conditioning. You know how they teach us like boys are like this and girls are like this, and if you're different, people are gonna make fun of you. Which now people are so much better about allowing people to be who they are. But a lot of people have grown up with those very strict rules of what a man is and what a woman is. And for a lot of men, they have not been allowed to feel and cry and express their joy to the fullest. But at one point in childhood, as they're moving towards, uh, maybe what starts like 6, 7 years old, where you kind of have to differentiate, and you're told like, no, this is not okay. You're a boy. Like, man up, toughen up, and whatever boys are told. Um, so if we begin to suppress feelings, and honestly, a lot of women struggle with that as well, just because we've been living in this patriarchal culture, and so much of the feminine has been suppressed. But it's also, to give oneself permission to rest, to integrate. Because how do we feel feelings? We need to allow space for those feelings to be processed. and especially with big feelings and big transitional feelings and emotions like grief, for example. Um, it's so difficult to process that emotion if we lose a loved one, somebody very close to us, or uh, loss of a dream, a loss of a job. Uh, and nobody teaches us in school, like, how do I process my emotions? And how do I just sit and feel? And where do I feel my emotions in my body? And how can I move the energy? And practices like meditation and breath work and journaling, which now are becoming popular. But think about it, like before, it's always like go, 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 provide, you've got to survive. And when we begin to integrate the anima, like for men, and just for people in general, to integrate the feminine back, we realize that there is this cohesive connection between feeling and being and doing. And uh, we see that if we take the time to feel and to just be, the action spontaneously arises. And instead of being on that hamster wheel with no direction, uh, we actually begin to communicate with our higher self or the soul, which in a lot of people is missing. And it's not, like some outside God, or you don't need any outside authority to mediate to you what you need to do, but you begin to connect with your own higher self and to remember and to actually feel like, what is right for me? What should I do? Where should I go? And it's not necessarily a straightforward linear path, like graduate school, get a job, have a family, get the car, and work until certain age, retire, and then decay and die. But life becomes more of an adventure when the anima is integrated, because the feeling, like certain things that we feel strongly, and those intuitive hits that we get inform us of where to go next and what to do next. And the day is not the structured thing of same thing, same time every day and the 9 to 5, but it's more of a creative experience, and creativity, is a feminine quality. Um, and we're not talking feminine here as a gender, um, but we all have the masculine and the feminine within. And when men begin to own those feminine qualities of intuition and the soul in general, and sensitivity and feeling, then they become whole and integrated, and they can operate from both logic and intuition, and listen to their hearts and open the heart and let go of all of the negative emotions that have been repressed and suppressed, and feel the grief fully, and feel, like forgive for the way they've been conditioned to from by people that didn't know any better. uh, but at one point you have to realize, even if you have lived half your life as half a person, it's better to wake up from this and grieve the potential losses you have uh, incurred, um, and then live the rest of your life as a whole person, right? Uh, but a lot of people stop there because they don't want to admit that they have bought into a conditioning that they have suppressed so much inside of themselves, that it's hard to regain in a sense. But nothing is hard to regain, and just with everything, practice makes perfect. And if a person really decides, you know what, instead of projecting on women all the time and ruining every relationship because I'm not giving, I'm just looking to take those qualities and siphon them from a woman for my own benefit. Let me open my heart. Let me start feeling fully and not outsource this to somebody else on the outside of me, who is pouring love into me that I cannot receive because my heart has closed off, and I cannot give because my heart has closed off. Let me open that heart and start sensing and start feeling and start intuiting and really connect with my higher purpose and evolve a little bit more and uh, become individuated and not buy into outside authority, but live my own path. And this is why we all love those movies about a brave, bold hero who is standing up to authority and doing the right thing, even though nobody else is doing it. And it doesn't have to be an external feast, it's actually an internal process. And if you can be that man that cries when he's moved by deep emotion or when he's sad, if you can be the man that grieves, if you can be the man that actually can admit when he's done something wrong and take responsibility to make amends instead of running from his mistakes and then being stuck in more shame, guilt, and fear. And every time he feels guilty for repeating the same mistake over and over again, instead of correcting it and breaking that cycle, retreats into more shame and always looking on the outside for what he cannot source from within and basically be a major energetic vampire. If you can't do that, basically, you're a coward. I have to say that. Or you can be the very person that integrates all of that and actually teaches other men how to do it as well, uh, just by example and embodying it and being at home with your feelings and leading from the heart and calling out what's wrong and not functional, even if everybody else has accepted it as truth and believes that there's no other way of it. And for all of that, courage is required. So I wrote a book about that, and it's coming out very soon. It's called The Sovereign Man.